This is Zubair from Audiovisual Card, and today I'm going to tell you about the most crucial and important component of a home theater setup, the AV receiver. I'm going to show you the all kinds of AV receivers which are generally used in home theater setups in India, and I'm going to tell you about all the features of these receivers and what all things to be considered when selecting appropriate AV receiver for your home theater setup. So we are going to start with a 5-channel AV receiver. This is the Marantz NR1510. This is a 5.2 AV receiver, and when I'm saying a 5.2, it means that it will power up to 5 speakers. As you can see here, the 5 speaker terminals are there, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which says front right, front left, center, surround right and surround left. And apart from that, you have got 2 pre-outs for the subwoofer. So this becomes a 5.2 channel AV receiver. The AV receiver is powering the speakers and is giving the signal to the subwoofer. The subwoofer doesn't require power from the AV receiver because nowadays 99% of the subwoofers that we get in market generally are all active subwoofers. Now the next is a 7.2 channel AV receiver. So a 7.2 channel AV receiver is what you need if you want to enjoy Dolby Atmos. Here you will see total 7 speaker terminals, the front right, front left, center, surround right, surround left, and the height channels are there, which will be designated to the Atmos speakers. These total 7 terminals will power 7 speakers, out of which 5 speakers will be on the ear level, as we saw in the 5-channel AV receiver, and these 2 will be used for Atmos. And apart from that, again, we have got 2 subwoofer pre-outs here, wherein we can connect the subwoofers. Next comes the 9.2 channel AVR. Nowadays, we also have got 9.4 channel AV receivers from other manufacturers, including Denon and Marantz. Here you will see 9 terminals of the speakers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which are labeled as the front right, front left, center, surround right, surround left, height 1 right, height 1 left, and surround back right and surround back left. So the difference between a 7-channel and a 9-channel AV receiver is the surround back speakers. When we are talking about a 7-channel AV receiver, we will generally have a configuration of a 5.1.2, which means 5 speakers on the ear level, 1 or 2 subwoofer, and 2 speakers for the height channels for Atmos, which will give us a complete Dolby Atmos experience. And when we are talking about a 9-channel AVR, like I told you, the extra 2 channels, you can have a configuration of a 5.2.4, or you can have a configuration of a 7.1.2 or a 7.2.2. That means on the ear level, you can have either 5 or 7 speakers, and for the Atmos, you can have 2 or 4 speakers. Generally, what we recommend when we are using a 7-channel AVR is to go for a 7.1.2 configuration, especially if you have a spacious room, because in that case you are covering all different surround sound elements, including the front, the side surround, the back surround, and the Atmos. So after the 9-channel AV receiver comes the 11-channel AV receiver, and in the 11-channel AV receiver we can have a configuration of 7.2.4, and we are looking at the Marantz SR8015 here, which is 11-channel AV receiver with 13-channel processing. Now when I'm saying 13-channel processing, it means that this AVR can power up to 11 speakers and can give signals up to 13 speakers, which I will further explain later in the video. So as you can see, this is an 11.2 channel AV receiver, wherein we can have a configuration of a 7.2.4. So these were the type of AV receivers generally which are used in home segment. After that, we'll also get 13-channel AV receivers and a 15-channel, and 15-channel is the limit in home segment. In some AV receivers like this one, we have got multiple HDMI outputs as well. So apart from the HDMI inputs and outputs, we have also got the network input. Generally, all the AV receivers come with the network option, except a few basic 5-channel AV receivers like the Denon 250BT, 580BT, etc. Apart from the HDMI inputs and outputs, there are other usable input and output ports here. We have got the phono-ins if you want to connect your turntable. We have got the audio and video assignables if you want to connect a source which does not support HDMI. Apart from that, as you can see, we have got 3 outs Apart from the subwoofer, we have the front right and front left pre-out. Before explaining further about the pre-outs, I would like to tell you something important about the AV receiver. So the AV receiver is actually a combination of a processor and a power amplifier. Processor processes the input and output signals, and an amplifier is actually powering your speakers. So when I told you about the 8015 being an 11 channel AV receiver with 13 channel processing, it means it can power 11 speakers. That means it has got a power amplifier for 11 speakers and it has got a processor for 13 speakers. So the role of pre-out comes in the processing part. For example, here in the Marantz NR1510, which is a 5.2 channel AVR, we have got pre-outs for the front right and front left. So the pre-outs are actually giving you the flexibility to connect higher powered speakers than what the AVR can actually support. For example, the NR1510 is a 50 watts AV receiver, and if I connect a speaker which can take up to 200 watts of power, then definitely it will not be able to do justice with the highly powered speaker. So in that case, what I'll be able to do is I'll use the pre-out input and I will introduce a power amplifier, an external power amplifier in between, through which I will connect my speaker. So what's going to happen is that a signal cable from the pre-out will be taken to the power amplifier and the speaker will be connected to the power amplifier. So this pre-out will send the signal to the power amplifier for the front, right and left, and that power amplifier will further amplify the signal and send it to the speaker, and that power amplifier can be of any power as per your speaker. The pre-out option in Marantz starts from the 5 channel AV receiver, and this is the only brand in market nowadays which can give you pre-outs for a 5 channel. Other than that, none of the brands are providing you any pre-outs for 5 channel AV receivers. And as well as for the 7 channel, Marantz is the only brand which is giving all channel pre-out options, including both their latest Cinema 70S and Cinema 60 AV receiver, wherein you have all channel pre-out options. If you're looking for pre-out options in an AV receiver from 5 to 7 channel range, then generally you will have to go for Marantz, because it's the only brand which is giving you pre-out options in their 5 channel and 7 channel AV receivers. Apart from that, when you go up to 9 channel AV receiver, all the brands are giving you pre-out options for each and every speaker. Nowadays, the latest AV receivers have made this use of pre-out even more flexible. You can decide which channel of the speaker you want to use with the pre-out and which one you want to directly power with the AVR. The pre-out option is actually a very helpful feature through which you can remove the limit of what power of speaker you can use with the AV receiver. Let's say you have an AV receiver which can not give more than 120 watts of power, whereas the speakers that you're going to put are quite demanding and they want at least 200 watts of power for each speaker. In that case, you can use your AVR as the processor. You can introduce a power amplifier and you can route the highly powered speakers through the pre-out via the amplifier and can meet its power requirement. Nowadays, the latest range of AV receivers that we get are even more flexible. So the most important factor in an AV receiver is its power output, and people generally get confused in the power output of an AV receiver, as the brands describes the power output in multiple scenarios, like at 8 ohms, at 6 ohms, at 4 ohms, at multiple frequencies. What you need to look at is the power output at 8 ohms from 20 to 20 kilohertz of frequency and 2 channel driven, which means when 2 speakers are connected to the AVR and the speaker's impedance is at 8 ohms and we are playing real life content, then the AV receiver will be giving us the X output. For example, you will see in the non 2800 that it will be rating the power output of the AVR at 145 watts, whereas in reality the power output of the AVR is just 95 watts at 2 channel driven and full range frequency at 8 ohms. So here I have explained you all the input and output ports which are generally available behind the AVR. Now comes the technical specifications which you need to look at while selecting your AVR. The next feature of an AV receiver is the calibration software which it uses. In the initial models of Denon and Marantz, you will see Odyssey for calibration. In the Pioneer model, you will see MCACC. In Integra and OnQ models, you will see EQ. And if you go above 7 channel, from 9 channel to 11 channel and 13 channel, etc., you will see that the latest models of all these AV receivers are offering you direct live, while Denon and Marantz required you to pay for the direct live license. Pioneer, OnQ, and Integra is offering direct live as an FOC. You can have the direct live free of cost. For the 9 channel models, they are giving you free speaker calibration, and for the topmost flagship models, the 11.2 channel or 11.4 channel models, they are also giving you the free bass control. The next important and the useful feature in an AV receiver that you can look for is the multi-zone capability. The multi-zone capability allows you to create multiple zones wherein you can control the volumes of the sound coming from in each zone separately. Let's say you have got a big space wherein you want to create a 5.1.2 Dolby Atmos setup in the main zone, and the zone 2 and zone 3 you want to just play the music, and you also want to control the volume levels zone wise, which is possible through the multi-zone capability. So these were all the important features and aspects of an AV receiver that you need to look for. That is all for now. We'll see you again with some useful information. Please subscribe us on YouTube and follow us on Instagram, and stay tuned.